In an earlier video, I discussed equity or investor financing for independent film projects. But what about debt financing? Hi, James Pacitti, entertainment attorney and production counsel in Los Angeles. Debt financing occurs through a loan, which can be secured or unsecured. A unsecured loan is not backed by any particular property or collateral, while a secured loan is backed by a lien or security interest in a particular property or collateral. For example, credit card debt is unsecured, while an auto loan is secured by a lien or interest in the vehicle. The advantage of a loan from both a practical and legal point of view is the transaction can be very simple. A debt financing, and in the context of an independent film, can be as simple as a promissory note, though typically the transactions are a bit more complex and include a promissory note, a loan agreement, and a security agreement. Another one of the major differences between a loan and an equity investment is the risk for the party providing the financing. With a loan, the entity that borrows the funds, the debtor, is required to pay back the loan and any of the agreed interest regardless of how the film performs. The creditor earns interest but does not share the potential upside of the film, in other words, the profits, but also does not take the potential risk of the film being a flop and not being able to recoup the financing. Of course, there is still some considerable risk because not all loans get paid back, and particularly those that are not backed by any security or collateral. Also, even if a loan is backed by a security interest in, say, the film, such security may not be terribly meaningful if the film performs very poorly because that security interest is essentially worthless. However, the risk is still far less than an equity investment where the investors can experience the total loss of their investment. Though potentially less complex than equity financing, it is still important that if filmmakers are considering debt financing of their film, that they consult an entertainment attorney experienced in this type of film financing. If you have any questions or if you have a project you wish to discuss, don't hesitate to contact us.